On the heels of the Devils' acquisition of Timo Meier, Scott Harrington, Santeri Hataka, Timur Ibrahimov, and Zachary Emond, and the 2024 fifth-round pick from San Jose. We're honored to be joined by Devils General Manager, Executive Vice President Tom Fitzgerald. At this time, we'll open it up for questions. We ask all media to please send me a note in the chat, and then we'll turn it over to you for your respective questions. We'll start off with Amanda Stein, NewJerseyDevils.com.
Fitzy, I guess the first thing is how are you feeling now that it's officially done?
Well, excited. I'm happy, but we have a lot of work to do. This is part of trying to build success and trying to build camaraderie with your team and connectivity as we used. And you're adding, a new piece here that is new. So with that being said, when you can add a player like Timo Meier to the lineup that you feel is growing and getting stronger each day, it really puts a smile on my face.
Was it a tough deal to get done? Obviously, there's been so much talk about him with other teams, with you guys. Can you kind of take me through that mental process of getting it done?
Well, with social media that I'm not really on, it's tough to not see what's going on out there. But you just try to block out the noise and try to create a framework of a deal that you feel is fair, that they may feel is fair, because you're always going to lose good players, and we did that in this draft. This trade. But we've been gearing for this for a long time, where we've been selling off, going back to my mentor Ray Shero, selling off older players, gaining assets, using those assets in the draft, really relying on our amateur staff with the guidelines of what's important and what's a devil, but really drafting assets, developing assets for New Jersey, whether they play in New Jersey or they're traded for players to play in New Jersey. That's been the goal since day one. And now we're at a situation in the stage where we can actually apply that because of where we're at.
I think you sort of touched on something important there that I want to bring up is when you talk about the depth, particularly when you're looking at defensive depth that has been, really been accumulating for the franchise. You didn't have to touch maybe 1-2 prospect in Nemec and Luke. How, does that really speak to what has been building here, that you can pull off a trade of this magnitude and keep those two guys on your roster or in your system rather?
Yeah, for sure. And what I won't do is apologize for the stable of prospects that we have. Shakir Makmadoulan is I personally think he's going to be a tremendous NHL player. But that's the cost of doing business, giving up a prospect like that. Yes, his name's not Hughes or Nemec of recent drafts, but he's still an everyday NHL player that we believe was going to be a top 4. And quite honestly, I think he would have helped us this year as a depth defenseman that can come in and help play because of where he's been playing. But with that being said, you got to give to get, and giving up a Shakir is not easy. But if the result's of Timo Meier, that's a nice result.
Last from me, a bit of a 2-part. Have you spoken to Timo yet? And have you maybe spoken to Nico yet? Because obviously they know each other, they're friends, and he's your captain as well. And it's a significant move for your team.
Well, Nico I'm very transparent with all my players. Amanda, you're around, you see where I'm at. That locker room is like my home. Yep. No one feels uncomfortable, I don't believe, when the GM walks by and says hello, or sits down, has coffee with them, or has eggs or in the morning. So very comfortable down there with the players. So Nico and I have talked a lot about this situation. So he's more than aware. As far as Timo is concerned, yes, I've had a talk with Timo, and I can't explain how excited he is to be part of our organization. I really, really giddy thrilled, like as I was. So it was a great conversation. We're just kind of working out some details on, how to meet up and where we should take him, or probably just meet us in Denver.
I was going to say, is that probably the likelihood is that he'll meet the team on Tuesday?
Yeah, and and everybody knows he's still dealing with an injury that no one is concerned about. But the most important thing is for him to get healthy, and be ready to go when he's ready to go.
Thanks, Fitz. Congratulations.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda. Next question go to Ryan Novozinski, NJ.com.
Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
Ryan, I'm doing great.
That's good to hear, man. It's good to hear. So Tom, kind of set the scene a little bit here. You know, the war room today. Just sort of what was that deal is done, quote unquote, phone call like?
Well, it was great to finally get. We have a deal. And that's important. Today's was a little more relaxed, I guess, because of I really felt the framework. It was already there that we were. Mike Greer and I were going to finish this off today. Smaller areas, but the big pieces were all in place, and we've accepted each other's, conditions on some things. But I guess the waiting game happens. You sit there and you wait for the league to actually get back to you. You know, the process of making a trade is pretty simple. You just, our team would write the email out to their team. They go over it. They say, yes, that's good. That email goes to the league with both parties. And then they set up a trade call after they go through all the contracts, the cap implications potentially, just making sure everything is aligned. And then they have the the trade call. But when you sit there and you wait, it's painful. So that's really what today was all about, was just waiting around for the league to get in touch with us about the call.
Tom, in the past couple of months, be it chance, be it online noise, how many times have you heard the name Timo Meier?
Well, I've heard it a lot because we've discussed his name a lot internally about how can we get this player, how attractive we are to this player, how great would he be with our team, and the fans thought the same way, which is great. So yeah, I have heard the chance, but at the end of the day, you can only push so hard and try so hard, and I really thankful for my team. Whether it's Kate Madigan, Dan McKinnon, Marty Brodeur, Al Santilli, Scott Litwack, Tyler Dello, guys. These are the people who've been in the war room with me every single day. Not only them, but the support of David Blitzer and Josh Harris and Tad Brown, and just their mentorship and helping me, really make a decision like this a little easier because of the want for the player, because of who he is. So there's a lot of people who have really played a major part in this, and I thank them first and foremost. But we're all had the same goal. How can we improve our team? Who is the player out there that can improve our team? And it all came back to Timo Meier.
Tom, how confident are you that about an extension and that could get done?
Well, I mean, I could sit there and say I'm confident. What I am confident in is who we are, what we can sell, our team. I've always said this, New Jersey is a diamond in the rough. People outside of here do not know what it's like until you get here and go, wow, this really is incredible. You have one-stop shopping, game rink, practice rink. You have the airport 10 minutes away. You're in your bed every night, especially out east when you're traveling. The travel is incredible. Like I told Timo, this may add 5 years to your career, the travel. Whether you're living in Jersey City, Hoboken, in the cities across the suburbs are beautiful. It's a hidden gem. People do not know about New Jersey. And what we do believe in is we're very confident that what we can provide and sell is something that we believe Timo will buy.
Tom, last two from me. Are the Devils done at the trade deadline, or do you anticipate anything else looking around wise?
Well, ironically, my staff is coming in tomorrow. My pro guys are coming in, my personnel guys are coming in, and we're gonna start really looking at our roster, and where can we add some depth. Where are areas where we believe we need to add depth. Scott Harrington, he'll add that depth on the back end. He's an experienced player, played 250 games in the league. He's played some playoff games. So We're going to go through that, starting tomorrow with my staff, and to figure out, and our coaching staff, obviously get their input on, what is needed. Again, I've said this before. I don't think you can add X amount of players and feel that they can really inject themselves into a system. It takes time. It'll take Timo Meier time to understand how we play, how we come back into D zone. But that's why doing something like this earlier than the actual deadline made so much more sense to me, because of the on ice and the educating part of how we play.
Last one, Tom. How are you celebrating tonight?
My wife and I will probably go out and grab a drink or two and relax and just kind of go, just enjoy it, really enjoy this moment. And like I said, prepare tomorrow for what's next for the New Jersey Delta and how can we continue to improve. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan. Our next question will go to Mike Morial, NHL.com.
Hey, Fitzy, thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Michael.
So Fitzy, how do you envision Timo will help the team down the stretch and in the playoffs?
Well, you know what? I think everyone here is pretty aware of what Timo can bring to the table. Like I told Timo, first, let's get healthy. Second, I just want you to come in and feel yourself, be yourself. There's no pressure, production. Like we're going to score goals, as you guys know. I just want the player to feel comfortable. Just he understands the system. He has time to learn it, and then once he feels comfortable and knows our system like the back of his hand, he's just going to play hockey, and that's something he does really well. And that's what all I asked him to do is just relax, have fun, enjoy this, and it's just hockey.
Is this, in some ways, Tom, is this kind of your way of rewarding the team down the stretch here for how well they've performed and in some ways, exceeded expectations?
I don't think it's any secret that we're ahead of where we thought we would be. Guys have taken huge steps in their game. I think the additions that we made have really been effective and done what we thought they would do with our young core and the pillars that we have. So when you make a move like this, or even a smaller move, you're showing your team, you're showing your fan base that we want to improve. We can get better. Like what are the margins for us to improve, and how can we, continue to push forward? So when you make a move like this, it's the players told me where they were. No different than in the past, where we were and what we were going to do. We weren't buyers in the past for the obvious. We had a record of what we had, and it was still sell time and grab future assets. But when you grab those future assets in the past, the grass was going to get brighter. It was going to get greener because of the growth and development of our young players. So then we can use those assets, those future assets, for days like today. So whether we're ahead of where we thought we'd be, we're here. And all we can control is continue to come to the rink every day with a growth mindset and get better, develop. How can you grow in tomorrow's practice? And continue to be connected with each other, because that's the strength of our team. When we're connected and we're relentless and we're using our speed and we're taking time and space away, you see games like last night when you have the puck all night.
Perfect. Thanks, Tom. Have a good night.
See you, Michael.
Thanks, Mike. Our next question will go to James Nichols of the fourth period.
Thank you, Pete. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Doing great.
First one here for you. What was it specifically about Timo Meier that he was the player that you honed in on and said, I need this guy on my team?
Well, I think it's the skill set, the ability to score goals, and the body size, the bigger body, the harder body, size helps. So it was something I think we all believe we could add. we're not overly big at the forward group, but he helps, make us a bigger, stronger team, power forward, get to the net, stay at the net, tough to move away from the net, hold on to pucks down low, can skate, drives to the net. Just small things like that. It's just, they add up to be, they add up to be into a player that you admire and say, I want that on my team. That's what Timo Meier brings.
Obviously this has been a thought that's been brewing. Have you had any talks with Lindy about where you might think he fits best in the lineup? And is there a desire to slot him next to his countryman and Nico Hischier?
No, we haven't talked about that. Again, the most important thing right now is his continued health to improve, and he's doing that. Talked to him today, he skated today, he's feeling great. Whenever that day is where he's ready to play and really get at it in practice, of course we're going to talk about it, but we won't write anything in stone, that's for sure.
And you referred to how giddy you and Timo were about the acquisition. Did you get a sense from any of the other guys in the locker room about how giddy they might be too?
I haven't. Today was a day off for our group, well-deserved day off. We'll see them tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be, if I can, when I go back and remember, not my trade deadline days where I got traded, but the days where we added. Those were good days because you knew the organization cared to continue to get better and show that, I want to help you guys get to where we want to go. So I'm guessing tomorrow there'll be a lot of giddy guys.
This has obviously all come to fruition rather recently, but Damon Severson wears number 28. Has he decided what number he's going to wear?
I think he has decided. I just I don't want to lob it out here till it's official. He threw that out. Something we'll discuss, but when it comes to numbers, if a player feels comfortable in a certain number, it doesn't matter to me as long as he plays well. That's all I care.
Last one here for you, Fitz. Thank you so much for your time. Obviously, the fans tried to speak to you with all those Timo Meier chants. Anything that you would like to say back to them now?
Well, I think I heard them loud and clear first. I understand who they wanted. It's great when it aligns with the hockey ops department, who we want. But you know what? This is something that they deserve. I just said it earlier in this interview. Not only players, but our fan base deserves this excitement. You saw that place last night. When's the last time you saw it like that? And it's only going to continue to get better. And that's what excites everybody, that we are coming into a situation where, okay, this is, I know our team believes that they have a championship caliber team, whether it's this year moving forward, but we have the right pieces. We'll continue to build and put the right pieces in place. But this move, the fans deserve this. So again, try to get Timo healthy. He will get healthy, and we'll try to get his name on a contract long term. But we won't press for anything. But the fans deserve this.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Fitzy.
Take care.
Thank you, James. Our next question will go to Ben Burnell.
Hey, Tom, thanks for doing this. I'm from Utica and cover the Comets. I was just wondering what the kind of considerations were for the AHL level, the depth level, as you were going about making this deal. I see there's a few other pieces involved.
That's a great question. Sometimes your American League team gets lost in something like this. We try to acknowledge that if there's a need down there, that maybe we can get something thrown in. A lot of these deals that happen, you could, this is a 9-player deal. You've seen some of the deals in the past that I've done where you're taking a contract or two, and that's what this was, just to even out some contracts. We're trying to not only help New Jersey with assets, but help Utica. Whether that's today or this week, or even the week after where the American League deadline is. I know Dan McKinnon, the GM there, is and Scott Litwack, his assistant, will continue to try to build out some needs. It's not that easy, but at the end of the day, when we do these deals and you have to take certain things back, they either align or they don't. We'll see. We'll see what happens. With some of these players down there. But right now, they're in a good spot. They're playing well and sitting in second place in a very tough division. And I'd like to help them as well as we move forward.
So have any of these players been assigned to Utica yet?
Well, we got a couple injured guys, and one guy that we haven't decided what we're going to do with yet. So that's all I can say about that.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Ben. Next question go to Dan Rosen of NHL.com.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for doing this.
Hi, Dan.
So just one question for you. Obviously, you saw the Islanders do their move with Bo Horvat. The Rangers followed. The Bruins got involved. The Leafs got involved. Now you guys. More to come with the Rangers, probably more to come with some other teams. What do you make of the trade market and how it's impacting the entire Eastern Conference playoffs situation?
I mean, my take on it is that everybody wants to put all the really good players in the East on trades. So it's amazing. But you know what? I was just doing what I felt was best for the New Jersey Devils. Not reacting because of what the Rangers did or what they may do again and what the Islanders did. They do their business because of what their needs are. I'm not a reactionary general manager or person. I'm very thorough and I try to think things out and really stick to a game plan. Then you maybe would deviate here and there, but Timo Meier was the player that we've identified from the get-go for a couple of reasons. Obviously, the way he plays, what he can bring to the table, and his contract situation. We control this player for 2 years, and of course, we'll try to continue. We will start at some point to try to ink his name to a long-term deal. But I do believe New Jersey will sell itself. I think he will love it here. I think he's going to thoroughly enjoy and want to stay here. That's my bet.
Awesome, man. Thanks a lot. Congrats on this one. All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. Our final question, as we'll have Timo joining us shortly, we'll go to Ken Campbell. Go ahead, Ken.
Hi, Tom. Actually, Dan kind of took my question. He actually took it almost word for word. And I'm just wondering,
Wow.
I mean, when you see that, when you see the other teams doing that, and you sort of answered it, does it place any more pressure on you to get deals done when you see that there's an arms race in your conference? And secondly, again, like Dan asked, what does it say about this conference? What does it say about the East?
Well, as far as pressure is concerned, there's enough pressure in this job day to day that what other teams do doesn't add to it for me anyways, because it's a high pressure job. So you try to handle that pressure in certain ways. And so for me, like I said, I'm really stick to the game plan. You get to a spot where you may be allowed to deviate and grow. But this was a player that we identified from the get-go, worked extremely hard to frame out a deal, and felt that, we could afford ourselves given a little bit more because of what we've collected over the last few years. And at the end of the day, our goal was to trade for Timo Meier and feel good about what we didn't give up and feel good about what we're adding. And we feel really good about that. Now, as far as the East, I just said it. It's a powerhouse. It really is. It's really a powerhouse. You see what the Bruins just did, and obviously the Rangers and what they did and what they're probably going to do. the Islanders, Bo Horvat's a hell of a player. Too Harvey, a really good, strong, veteran-laden team. Toronto, again, with the star power and adding a Stanley Cup champion captain. Yeah, Tampa, I mean, until you beat Tampa, you know, they're still, you know, probably the best team that's been in the last 5 years here in the East. So Florida, what they're doing, they're coming. There's never an easy night, Ken. You know that. But you know what? That's what pushes you. You know, to be at your best. And as a manager, all I'm trying to do is really put the best team together, not the best collection of talent. And we've got some, you know, we're going to go through some stuff this week to see where we can add and, you know, see what the edges look like and try to become a better team if possible.